How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about PROG stock. And before I get started, I want to clear something up. I've been getting messages and many people are telling me, hey, have you heard about other YouTubers saying, hey, it doesn't matter what price you buy and just get into the play. And you know what? This is something that I completely disagree with. You want to make sure you're maximizing your overall entries. If a YouTuber tells you, well, you know what? It doesn't matter what the price is, just buy in right now, then stop following them right away because they don't care about your best interest and they're not looking out for your money. On this particular channel, I want to make sure you guys are taking advantage of dip opportunities when they present themselves after confirmation, of course. And plus, on top of that, I want to make sure that you're able to maximize your profits as a whole. But with all that said, I must say I'm excited that PROG ended up having another green day, but I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. The reason why this is important because you can add it to your homework and as well as your due diligence so you can get the right entry and not follow YouTubers giving you the wrong advice. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why it's important to know about the short interest because it can have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for PROG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So I ended up closing at $3.87, being up 3.20%. On the low, it tested $3.34, and then on the high, testing $3.97. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 58.455 million shares, and for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 159.63 million shares. So one thing that we could see right away, even though we did have below average volume on the day, we still saw appreciation in the stock. So what this tells me, without taking a look at any other data, there are many who are still holding shares, and we also had some buyers that were coming in showing interest. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the 1-year daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it's right around 74.54. So what that tells us, yes, it is in the overbought territory. When we take a look at the moving averages on our chart, we have strength above the 50-day, also the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. This is actually crazy to see considering we've been talking about PROG for quite some time on this channel. And when I was talking about it, I think it was like in the 150 range, and then boom, look at where we're at right now. So as far as for the high of the day, we're at $3.97. So one thing that is very clear, and I mentioned this in the video that I did previously, that $4 is that psychological area. It is going to be that area of resistance. So if we end up seeing price action above it, then things can really start taking off for PROG, as we've seen before not too long ago. And this was at being at 441 and also at this level here right around 434. So we're familiar with this area. But one thing to keep in mind, we are seeing increasing levels of support. And I bring this up every single time. And when we see these increasing levels, and I'm just going to give you an example, we had it here at $1.50, here at $2, here at $2.50, we see it at $3, we see it at $3.50, and then now look, it would be great going into next week or even by tomorrow if we can close above $4. If we can close above $4, then of course I'll be looking forward to seeing a move to $5. But if we want to consolidate in this area, that is very fine with me. But for the most part, things are continuing to look bullish. We have price action above the 200-day, and you know what? There's really nothing I can really complain about. It's looking really good and it's continuing to reward us. So let's jump into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for PROG. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we could see here right away for October the 28th, we have call and as well as a put. Of course, this is just hedging. And then also we have Cutler Group LP, which I think we covered already, going with a call and a put as well, hedging. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 53.93%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 36 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 25,000, updated 13 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow free rate being at 131.46%. That is just crazy. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 26th, it was at 51.40. And then for the close of the 27th, which was yesterday, being at 53.93. So one thing that is very clear, PROG does continue to have short squeeze potential, especially when you take a look at the borrow fee. So this is part of the reasons why you want to keep this play on your radar and make sure that you're maximizing your entries, taking advantage of those dips, but only doing this if you are interested in the play. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for PROG. So we can see here on the inflow it was 46.09, and then on the outflow it was 40.00. When we take a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 12.20, on the medium it was 25.85, and then on the small it was 8.04. When we take a look at the outflow side, on the large it was 11.42, and then on the medium it was 21.85, and then on the small it was 6.73. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see we ended up having an inflow of it at 778.98. So with this inflow day, things were definitely looking good. But as we take a look at the data even further, we had a lot of buying that was happening on the retail side. I wouldn't be too shocked if many were taking advantage of the dip that we saw as well. When we take a look at what happened on the medium, again, a lot more inflow than we had outflow. So there was some selling and there was some profit taking, but buying was definitely winning out. And then when we look at the large scale, you could see as far as for the buying is concerned, it ended up actually having a surplus compared to what we saw on the outflow, but there was a good amount of profit taking, so that's something to keep in mind. And then when we take a look now at the turnover ratio, it was at 75.39%. Of course, not too shocking because there's a lot of traders that are inside of PROG stock, and it's part of the reasons why it is extremely volatile and why I always emphasize you want to maximize your overall entries. If you don't do this and you just want to go in and buy at the top, again, you are affecting your overall profits as a whole, and I want to make sure that you're maximizing it, all right? So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for PROG stock, I really want to see us get back above $4. We're able to do this previously, and there's no doubt in my mind we should be able to do this again. Also, I want to send a shout out to everyone out there who has been maximizing their entries. We had quite the sharp pullback at $3.34, but you know what? I don't see that as an issue, because one thing that I did point out inside of the technical analysis, you are seeing increasing levels of support. We are on a healthy uptrend. So when we end up having these pullbacks, they present themselves of opportunities, and this is why you want to make sure you're using your indicators and knowing, you know what, I have the right confirmation, this is the time for me to jump in. As far as when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, this play does continue to have short squeeze potential. Also, when we take a look at the short borrow fee being over 100%, that is just crazy. So for anyone who is shorting PROG stock, you're definitely paying a hefty fee. So if we have a lot of buying pressure coming through this play, then you can see some strong moves to the upside, and it contributes to the overall volatility itself. So I'll be very interested to see how PROG stock performs tomorrow, but I'm going to be looking forward to seeing some price action above that $4 level. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.